Welcome to your 4 to 5. I'm Lauren Coleman here with Eric Chilton, Tim Buckley, and Chad Silver.
As you have seen, it has been a very busy weather day. We are going to get to the forecast in just a moment. But first, we have got to show you some of the incredible video from a wild afternoon of severe weather in our area. Right now, we have a live look from Wilkes County. You can see this behind us. This is a home in Ronda. It is damaged in the storm. It's located along Clingman Road. The Ronda Volunteer Fire Department actually tarped the home to protect it from any further damage. We're getting a closer look there. You can see it's just a mess out there. And here are some photos of what appears to be a tornado on the ground west of Elkin in Wilkes County. These photos were shared with us by Riley Alden and Ryan Holgerson. You can see the sky is darker with what appears to be a funnel in the middle of the storm. And check out this video of what appears to be a tornado touching down in Union Grove over in Iredell County. Several people were out there watching it as it passed by. The funnel is surrounded by lots of dark clouds and flashes of lightning. Tim and Eric, you were on air for hours tracking these storms today. Eric, sounds like this all started in Wilkes County around lunchtime.
Yeah, we were watching around Wilkes County and also Iredell County, that area, when it started kicking in. It was about 11:45 this morning when we finally did see the first tornado warning, and unconfirmed in the beginning, and we were watching the radar presentation, kind of giving our judgment on that, but quickly eyes and ears of the public really came through and showed us these images of those funnel clouds. Tim, I mean, this was going on for hours and hours.
Yeah, hours and hours, and that's kind of like the first round. We're in a bit of a lull right now, but honestly, a lot of these storms, what we're seeing is when they form, they're very easily able to rotate and spin, and that's something we see pretty frequently with tropical systems, and that's the case today. Unfortunately, we're not even close to done yet. We're probably only about halfway through at the most. This is continuing through overnight tonight. Skies are dark in Greensboro, but not worried about anything at the moment. Temperatures are in the 70s. Similar situation in Burlington. You had some wind and rain earlier, but as of now, nothing threatening. Here are the main points I want to get first out there for you through the overnight hours. We're going to continue to see bands of tropical rain and thunderstorms. That's going to continue through the evening, but also through the overnight. This goes till midnight and beyond. Unfortunately, that tornado threat does continue after midnight. So you've got to have a way to get those warnings. Make sure your emergency alerts are turned on your phone. Make sure you have the News 2 weather app downloaded and use it because it will help save your life. Flooding is possible as well, but we're also watching that tornado risk as I mentioned. Here's Fred. The center is still in Georgia. That's why we're continuing to watch this. And a couple of different bands. We had band number 1 already roll through. Back here you see this next one in South Carolina and parts of the North Carolina foothills. That'll be the next one we have to watch for tornado potential for the late afternoon and early evening. Right now, all of these are fairly calm at the moment, but we will keep an eye on that. Let me back up here. Heavy rain continuing to push into parts of Rockingham County, also over in Yadkin County. We'll keep an eye on this and look for any spinning motion, but as of now, nothing that warrants a tornado warning. Watch does continue until 7 o'clock, but I think we'll have a new tornado watch issued later on tonight because of this. Our severe weather threat level is now a 3 out of 5. That's the highest it has been in some time. That includes Charlotte, the foothills, and really areas in the western triad from Winston-Salem to Davidson County. That's pretty high for our area. And as I said, we watch that through about midnight tonight. Here's Futurecast. There's 6 o'clock. Here's 7, 8, and 9. And this is the main line I'm worried about right here. That's 1 in the morning. There's 2. There's 3 and 4. So you got to have those warnings turned on your phone overnight.
And while all this severe weather was passing overhead, the ground was shaking under Morganton, west of Hickory. A 2.7 magnitude earthquake hit the area this afternoon. This map shows the intensity of the quake. The star is Morganton there in the middle. The blue and purple dots indicate light to weak shaking. You'll need to be weather aware for the rest of the evening and overnight. As Tim mentioned, our app is the best resource for that. If you can't find it, just send us a text. You can text the word app to 336-379-5775 and we will send you a link. Or you can text the word radar to track weather conditions in your area.
Another big story we're following. A suspect is in custody in Greensboro after a barricade situation on East Gate City Boulevard. Greensboro Police Department's Violent Criminal Apprehension Team was searching for Edward Lorenzo Hubbard Jr. in the area. When authorities arrived on the scene, they made contact with Hubbard, but he refused to come out from his house. GPD's special response team and negotiators worked with Hubbard until he finally left the business. Officials say Hubbard is a repeat offender.
There's multiple warrants: carry concealed weapon, firearm by felon, assault by strangulation, common law robbery. He's also a habitual felon. And the list continues on. He's got a very lengthy violent criminal history.
Officials said the heavy presence was a precaution because of Hubbard's history with firearms. Davie County Schools is reversing its mask optional decision. Davie County School Superintendent Jeff Wallace shared a message on the district's YouTube page announcing the district's decision to make masks mandatory for students and staff. The school board voted unanimously to reverse this decision. Back in July, leaders voted to make masks optional. Now, Superintendent Wallace says cases are too high to risk student health.
Most of what I have received has been positive. There have been quite a few that have not been, and I respect that, completely respect their position. My message is I wish we were not in this situation. I don't want to wear a mask. I don't like to wear a mask. I don't want our children to wear a mask. And our goal is to keep kids in that classroom. And we had to make this decision.
We reached out to other districts in the Triad who also voted to make masks optional. As of right now, we've only heard from Randolph County Schools. They plan to keep masks optional for the upcoming year. I'm also learning we're hearing about some other districts that were added, and WFOY News 2's Jenna Kurzina spoke with parents about the school board's decision. Here are the reactions on WFOY News 2 at 5.
Here's a closer look at those worsening numbers leading to some changes. Coronavirus hospitalizations jumped quite a few overnight. The state says it learned of 156 new hospitalizations over the past 24 hours. That's a big increase, now pushing our total number over 2,800. It's been a while since we've seen a number that high. The last time was in late January as our state was coming down off the biggest spike in the pandemic. Back then, our number peaked just under 4,000.
The CDC recommends a third shot of the Pfizer and Moderna vaccine for immunocompromised people. The update is welcome news for those who don't have strong immune systems. WFOY News 2's Cindy Moore spoke with people locally who would be eligible for the extra shot.
That's right. Earlier today, I spoke with Letitia Baxter, that is, who lives in Greensboro. She says she lives with HIV and has other health conditions that make it difficult for her to function daily. After hearing about a third dose and the extra precautions she has to take every day, she said a third shot would be beneficial.
One thing about my immune system is you be weak and tired all the time. You have to eat and sleep a lot. Sometimes it won't let you come outside, you know. You have to take your medicines right.
Baxter tells me she's lived with HIV for years and also has underlying health problems that affect her body, including a thyroid problem in her neck and stomach issues. We also heard from Dr. David Priest with Novant Health. He says those who are considered immunocompromised include cancer patients, people with untreated HIV infections, and organ transplant patients. Dr. Priest encourages people to talk to their doctor about whether or not they would benefit from a third dose. He also says he does anticipate the FDA to approve of a third dose of the vaccine for everyone in the coming months.
All right, let's get to your 4 to 5 roundup. At least 1,400 people are dead 2 days after a 7.2 magnitude earthquake struck Haiti. Rescue efforts continue as the nation faces the chance of major flooding from heavy rains brought by Tropical Depression Grace. Hospitals, they are overwhelmed with patients waiting for treatment after approximately 6,000 people were injured from the quake. Doctors say they're running low on painkillers and steel pins to treat fractures. More than 7,000 homes were destroyed and nearly 5,000 others were damaged, leaving 30,000 families without a home. A senior Taliban official announced a nationwide amnesty Monday, calling for women to join the new government. The group vowed to lead diplomats and aid workers along and ensure safe work environments for those employees. Senior spokesmen have also said female medics will be allowed to continue working and girls can remain in school. If the Taliban upholds their pledge, it will mark a significant change in policies from the Taliban rulers of the 1990s. Women, they were not allowed to work or even leave home without a male relative, and girls could not attend school. Yesterday, President Biden addressed the situation to the nation, explaining why he stands by his decision to withdraw troops. He encouraged the Afghanistan government to use diplomacy to meet a middle ground with the Taliban and added the U.S.'s only goal should be to protect our nation from terror attacks. We'll be right back.
Oops. Let's see. All right. How to break through the status quo in your relationship.
Being in a relationship can be great, but once you settle into one, you might settle for things that don't make you happy. So how can you break out of that feeling?
Blanca Kopp joins us to talk about how you can best handle those situations and why people settle in those relationships. Why do they do that?
A lot of times people will settle for a relationship because they don't want to come across like they're complaining or they're being unappreciative. A bigger issue for a lot of people is that they're afraid to lose the relationship. They don't want to be alone, so they'll settle for being happy enough instead of being really happy.
And it's not always a perfect fix, right? So we all make mistakes when we try to fix things. How can you avoid that?
A problem or a common problem or mistake that people make is when there's a situation that they want to resolve, they think about it from their own perspective. Well, if this were me, I would want my partner to do X, Y, or Z. Well, the problem is you're only looking at it from your perspective. You have to look at it from their perspective because maybe to reach them, it would require something different. For example, let's say you prefer a lot of compliments, like that really makes you happy. But maybe with them, they really want to spend time together. So that's why you really have to look at the situation from their perspective.
Okay, so Blanca, let's say you want to talk to your partner. What should you consider?
Before you talk, you want to make sure you have a plan of what you're going to say. You want to explain what is happening. You don't want it to come across as a complaint. Explain what is happening, how that makes you feel, what would you like to see changed, and then how it's going to help the two of you love each other more, appreciate each other more, how it's going to benefit the relationship. You're going to get much further than that than if you come across with a laundry of this and saying, why don't you do this or why don't you do that anymore? That won't work.
Blanca, thank you. Always some great advice on a whole host of topics. If you missed any of this or would like to watch it again, you can find it on our website. All right, let's bring in the king of relationships now, Eric Chilton.
Yes.
You've had some experience with relationship. Oh, and your microphone isn't on.
We want to hear from him. Turn your mic on.
Just wait, just wait. Here it comes, here it comes.
Okay.
While we're waiting, I don't have a lot of experience with relationships, so I'm always willing to take advice when I'm given it.
Me too. I always say that dating is like playing the lottery. It's like you gotta do it over and over again until you meet jackpot. I think it's one of the hardest things you can do these days.
Chad, you said it. You know, there's a lot I could say about my relationship, so I'll just let that go. I'll tell you, the one thing that Blanca said that made sense to me, though, and it reminded me of something my mom used to always say to me. She said, you learn more by listening than you do by talking.
Wise words.
And Chad, that means you and I are in trouble because we never stop talking.
I mean, it's our job to talk, right? But yeah, if you have any other advice, Chilton, you just pass it along. It sounds like the both of us could benefit from that.
Listening, I'm telling you.
This dating game is rough.
In a relationship, listening, my wife will tell you this too, listening to what the other person, well, there's one thing, you know the love languages thing that you hear about all the time? One person, views what they consider love differently than somebody else. That's so true, because for me, it's like little hugs and hold hands, that type of thing. For my wife, it's doing things. So I can't fathom that. So if I do more around the house to get things done and show her that, she really appreciates that. And for me, it's more just a physical, hug and that type of thing. I'm like a little kid. I need to be hugged and told that I'm loved.
So her love language is acts of service.
Actions.
And yours is physical touch.
Yes, it's like just knowing little things, right? Just holding hands while you're on the couch, just watching TV, something like that.
Some good advice from Blanca and from Eric Chilton.
What are your dating tips?
We'll be right back.
Tell us on Facebook.
When Ren Sutherland started making his homemade pickles, he did not see what was coming down the road. But now, and they're called Poppy's Pickles, by the way, they're popping up everywhere. I spoke with him about his sour adventure. Take a look. So Ren, I have personally had your pickles. I absolutely love them. So I wanted to talk with you about this. How did you get started doing this? This must have been like a hobby that turned into something else.
It started when our youngest grandson moved in with us. We started growing garden. We had multiple vegetables, and we started making pickles with all the cucumbers. And then it just grew from there.
I'm guessing your friends must have told you at some point that you got something here.
Yeah, they kept telling me that for years, and I was just kind of reluctant to push it any further. But they were always saying, you need to sell these, you need to sell these. And I was like, you know, I'm not sure about it. But eventually time came and we started doing it.
I understand you're doing more than just standard pickles, right? You've branched out into other things.
Oh yeah, we do. We actually have 18 different products that we make. Some are seasonal. Right now, green beans are real big because of the season. Watermelon rind, pickled mango. We do hot pepper pickles, and of course habaneros are coming in, but also ghost peppers and reaper peppers. So we do a small variety of those also.
So where do you want this to go? Like, what's your future view of Poppy's Pickles?
I want it to continue to grow. It's already went further than I ever thought it would, to be honest with you. But we're gonna push it as far as we can.
Well, you got good stuff, man. I appreciate your time with us today. Get back to making those pickles. All right, if you're interested in trying them out, we've linked you to their website through ours. You just look for this story on WFNYnews2.com. So I asked you on Facebook to tell me your favorite pickle product. Here's what you had to say here. Let's start out with Norma, who says, Nikki's pickles out of Pilot Mountain are delicious. I've never had those. I'll have to check that out. Carol said, my favorite are Mount Olive organic bread and butter chips. Peggy said, well, my dad's mother was from Ireland and she used to make pickled tripe, which he absolutely adored. She said, I did not have the nerve to try it myself. Google tripe if you don't know what that is. Lynn says hot spicy pickled okra. I agree, that is awesome. Betty says the watermelon rind pickled. I would like to try that. She says she loves that as well. Michael made a joke referring to the Andy Griffith Show. He said Aunt Bee's kerosene pickles or cucumbers there, which is a famous episode. So I would have to say for me, I like anything pickled first of all, but I do want to try, Chad, you know I love the hot stuff, so I want to try the ghost pepper and the Carolina Reaper pepper pickles that he did. And then, but I can't get my head wrapped around a watermelon rind pickle. That I'd like to try.
Yeah. So is the watermelon rind, does it become soft?
I guess it would have to if it stays in that pickling juice for so long,
Yeah,
I would
who knows?
assume.
Yeah. We, my parents have this pickle recipe. They make pickles every year, and it's been passed down through the generations. And I love them so much. Every time I go home, I have to bubble wrap these jars of pickles to get them into my my checked baggage to get back. But yeah, they're delicious. And someday I will be getting that recipe myself.
So you're gonna bring some for us for Christmas gift?
I don't think so. It's quite the work to get them into the luggage. So I'll just tell you that they're good, and maybe I'll make you some someday.
Yeah, I would love that. I like pickled jalapenos. Those are pretty good.
Okay.
I've tried pickled okra before, but after hearing that story, I want to try the mango. That sounds like something I would like to eat.
Like that hot sweet kind of combination. He also, I like pickled green beans. Those are, I've had that before. Those are really good.
Put them all in a Bloody Mary and you've got an excellent
You've
drink.
got a meal, that's right.
What about pickled eggs? I've always seen those in like the gas station,
Or
and I'm like, what is
pig's
that?
feet.
Oh, I've seen that.
Pickled sausage.
I had a friend who ate
Somebody's eating
pickled
it.
pig's feet and I could hardly even look at it. It was horrible.
I know, I love seeing those big jars.
Yes, they're all
At the
pink.
gas station, yep. We'll be right back.
Pig's feet.
Welcome back, everybody. Tim Buckley with you here. We've been tracking storms, showers, and everything throughout the day today across much of the Piedmont. Chances are where you are, well, maybe it hasn't been all that busy, but some places have really been dealing with it, and we have seen tornadoes in the western foothills at this time. So here's what's going on right now. We look at a live view over Greensboro. We just have some cloud cover that we're dealing with at the moment. Showers and storms have been kind of coming and going, and that's going to be the way that it lingers through the rest of this afternoon. Similar story in Burlington, scattered clouds and occasional rain. Here's the culprit. This is Tropical Depression Fred. The winds, not all that impressive. Here's the problem for us. We're on the bad side of the system. Usually the left-hand side of the storm is not all that impressive, but the right-hand side, that's where you get in trouble with tornadoes. We've seen that already today, and you can also get heavier, more frequent rainfall. So here's what's going on. We've already had one round go through. That's past us, but the next band is down in South Carolina, and another one still lurks back in Georgia. We're going to be tracking things all the way through the midnight hours. So right now, things are pretty quiet across the Triad itself. Do have a little bit of a thunderstorm rolling into Surry County at the moment. Showers and storms pretty heavy there. Similar story up near Martinsville, Virginia, but no major rotation and no tornado warnings to pass along right now. Here's the trouble for tonight, though. We have a huge area of North Carolina covered by a pretty large tornado risk. This is significant for us. A level 3 risk from the foothills all the way down to Charlotte into South Carolina and the North Carolina mountains. The Triad is included in this, so I think we have a good chance of having more tornado warnings later on this evening and even into those early overnight hours. This is around 8 o'clock. We might be pretty quiet the next several hours, but watch here. This is 11 and 12 and then 1 o'clock in the morning. Take a look. Those storms, they look pretty nasty. And that could mean more rotation and more tornado warnings overnight tonight. So stay weather aware. Make sure you have your phone alerts turned on. We're going to be tracking this for you very closely as late as it gets.
When you see this animal, what do you think of? In today's YouDay segment, Coach Lamont talks to us about the wisdom of an owl and how it can apply to our lives.
A wise owl sat on an oak. The more he saw, the less he spoke. The less he spoke, the more he heard. Why aren't we like the wise old bird? Like this owl, there's a time to speak, there's a time to watch, and there's also a time to simply listen. All relationships need balance. It is wise to take a break from the busyness of life to simply observe the beauty that others bring to your life. Take the time to quiet your mind in order to hear the hearts of others. We can all learn from the owl to find a resting place and claim a reset for our lives. So like the owl, see more of people that you love. Speak less, and you will hear their hearts more. May this increase the love we offer to others. This is Coach Lamont reminding you to have your best YouDay. I'll see you tomorrow.
You must be able to see into the future
We were
because
laughing.
you just gave
I
that
just
same
said
advice
that.
talking about your relationship with your wife.
Look.
So go expand on that.
Lamont called me and I said, I got something for you.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
I was like, this is the same
It is
message.
funny though, because I literally, that is something that my wife and I, subscribe to. You have to listen, and you can't just listen to words.
Yeah.
You got to really understand what they're saying. I think, especially differences in men and women, but I think a lot of times, even in any relationship, you have to try hard to understand the other side, or it will not work.
Yeah, you have to listen. Sometimes when you're having a fight or a conversation, people are so worried about getting their point across that nobody's seeing eye to eye. Like we're not going to get through this if we can't just talk. I hear what you have to say. I talk. You hear what I have to say.
And a calm conversation.
Calm way.
Anger solves nothing. Absolutely nothing. That's our wisdom for you for the day.
Great words of wisdom from Eric and Coach
Today.
Lamont. Today.
We'll be back.
Welcome back to your 4 to 5. I'm Lauren Coleman here with Eric Chilton, Tim Buckley, and Chad Silver.
And that radar has been lighting up all afternoon, started just before lunchtime. Let's go right to Chief Meteorologist Tim Buckley with an update. Hey, Tim.
Hey there, guys. Yeah, things are actually a little quieter right now. A little bit of a lull, kind of a break in the action almost. We still have some scattered showers and storms, but unfortunately, I think things are going to ramp back up again after sunset. That's not really when we like things to go up in intensity, but that's what we're dealing with. You can see the swirling storm. This is Fred, of course, back here in Georgia. And notice how there are different bands, right? So these bands, they start here, they get closer to us, and they get more intense as they travel along. You see them back in the North Carolina foothills, really meaning business. And that's where most of the action has been today. You see reports of tornadoes like Wilkes County. That was an impressive one earlier today, all the way down to Iredell County, several funnel cloud and tornado reports in South Carolina and Georgia. All of that has already happened. Let's talk about what hasn't happened yet. These are some showers and storms across the Virginia border at the moment. A lot of heavy rain, maybe some gusty winds in there as well. Similar situation for you in Surrey and in Yadkin counties right now. Nothing severe, nothing tornadic at the moment. We'll be live continuously if that changes. Low pressure, that's Fred. Here it goes. It's going to be a quick mover. So by tomorrow, we have a pretty quiet day of weather once we get past sunrise. But in the meantime, we have to watch because there's a pretty high risk of tornadoes for North Carolina, and it lingers overnight. This is even 3 and 4 in the morning. We could see continually those lines of showers and storms still pushing through. So we have a ways to go here. Main points for you to take away. We're going to have more rounds of rain. Most of it comes in the evening and the overnight hours, and there will be a tornado threat that even continues after midnight. So I want you to stay weather aware. Make sure you're sleeping close by to your phone. Have those alerts turned on enough that they could wake you up in the middle of the night and you could get into a safe location. We're going to be tracking it very closely for you, and if we need to, we'll break into that programming and have that live coverage every step of the way. Meantime, the other tropical systems, they're out there. We'll have an update on those in a few minutes.
Winston-Salem's mask mandate goes into effect Friday evening at 5:30. The mandate applies to all public indoor buildings. That means the grocery store, shops, gyms, and restaurants and bars when you are not eating and drinking. Mayor Alan Joynes said he reinstated the mandate after speaking with Forsyth County health experts and leaders or other counties and cities who also reinstated their mandate. Mayor Joynes said fines are possible for anyone who does not wear their mask. The city hopes to get rid of the requirement when cases go down or vaccinations go up. Guilford County's mask mandate impacts the city of Greensboro, High Point, Summerfield, Jamestown, and all other towns within the county. Now remember, this is on hold for the next 10 days. Patrolling customers is up to businesses, but Guilford County leaders will start notifying businesses of problems after the 26th. Businesses can face fines for violating the mandate. County leaders want to see COVID trends improve and hopefully hit a 70% vaccination rate in order to lift this order. But again, that is on hold for the next 10 days.
This was an interesting story today. The Las Vegas Raiders will require fans to prove they've been vaccinated in order to go to games. It takes effect for their home opener against the Baltimore Ravens on September 13th. If fans can prove they're vaccinated, they won't have to wear masks. It's the first of its kind policy in the NFL. The team will use Clear's free app and Health Pass feature to screen fans. The Raiders said they'll offer fans the option of getting vaccinated on site before games, but newly vaccinated fans would need a mask.
As thousands of Triad students head back to school next week, coronavirus safety is top of mind for many parents. And to help students and staff with a safe return, the IM Foundation will host a Back to School Safely event. The IM Foundation is dedicated to bringing awareness and access to local resources for mental health. On Saturday, the group will provide free COVID-19 testing and back-to-school supplies for Triad area students at Barber Park in Greensboro. Co-founder Chanel Lucas says the goal is to get as many people tested as possible.
It's just to prepare the environment, to prepare the community, because you never know if you are carrying it or if you had it. We just want to get the awareness out. And because these are our precious kids going back to school, we want to make sure that they're safe and we're not harming anybody.
Those tested will get same-day results as well as a wristband for free food. IM Foundation will also hand out face masks and hand sanitizer. Lucas says there will be food, trucks, vendors, and games for the kids.
You know, at a critical time, it's still okay to have some type of fun, have some type of relaxation. And we wanted to provide that, let it be in a safe environment that you can still enjoy yourself, have some type of relaxation, but as well as practice safety precautions.
Testing is available for anyone who attends, and the Back to School Safely event is this Saturday at Barber Park. It will run from 2 to 7 p.m. What I think is really cool about this event is we've covered several school supply drives, but this is the first I think I've heard of us covering that involved the COVID-19 testing. And as we know, a lot of children under 12, they're not eligible for this vaccine. So anything we can do to protect them is a great thing.
Yeah, and what always worries me as a parent is a lot of our talk recently about the Delta variant has been that it is affecting younger kids, whereas the original COVID virus was not quite as detrimental to them. And now it's a whole different ballgame. So we got to look out for the little ones.
Definitely.
Yeah, I really feel for Eric, you yourself, as well as other parents with young kids, because I mean, you're just kind of navigating this and just trying to do the best that you can. And I mean, what a time to be alive, where you go to a back to school event and you could get tested for a deadly virus from the pandemic. I mean, it's
crazy.
It's crazy that this is where we're at. But I suppose this is now the third school year that we have been dealing with this. So I suppose it'll become old hat before you know it.
Well, and that's one thing I was going to say. My little ones that are still in elementary school, they don't know that different. Like it doesn't bother them. And I asked them the other day, Tyler and Drew, I said, does this bother you? No. They said, we keep them in our book bags and we wear them all day. So
the new norm.
It
really,
is.
literally.
It is.
Right. Well, the next time you go to the store, consider helping make sure every student is ready for that first day. Our Tools for School supply drive is happening right now. We've got collection boxes set up at 19 local Walmart locations. If you can, pick up a few extra supplies and drop them in one of the boxes. We'll be collecting supplies all month long. You can find a full list of the supplies and drop-off locations in the Good Morning Show section of our website. We'll be right back.
You know, for a lot of people working at the North Carolina Zoo, that would be a dream come true. Well, here is your chance. The zoo is holding a job fair. It's this Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. at the North American entrance. We spoke with Guest Services Director Jamie Merkel about how this job fair was different than some in the past.
It has been a struggle finding the numbers that we usually do in a traditional year prior to COVID. This time of year, like I said, we are normally doing another hiring ramp up to get through the fall part of our season because a lot of high school students, college students are going back to school, teachers that work for us for the summer, etc. But so while this is traditionally a time where we're doing another push to get staff for the remainder of the season, it has been harder than previous years.
Now, the part-time positions pay an hourly average wage of $10. Plus, you get zoo perks like discounts and passes for family and friends. Some of the positions will offer immediate interviews right there at the job fair, and Merkel says there are a variety of positions available.
Specifically, the areas we're looking for the most help in right now are our seasonal attractions. So we're looking for ropes course guides, carousel operators, cashiers, general guest services, as well as a few positions in admissions, housekeeping, and tram and bus drivers is a big need right now. Additionally, our food service partners, SSA, are looking for help throughout their operation as well, both in the kitchen and frontline staff.
So if you're interested, we've linked you to their website through ours. Just look for this story on WFMYnews2.com. Working at the zoo for a lot of folks, that would be an awesome thing. Now, she did, I said that to her too, and then her first answer to me was, well, now remember, Eric, you don't get to work directly with the animals. You're on the front line, so to speak.
But you do have those perks.
Yes, you do.
The freebies. And I think, I just thought about it, since a lot of these jobs are outside, that might make some people feel comfortable that aren't comfortable being indoors. So that's a plus too.
See, this might surprise you guys, but I think I wanted to be a zoologist if I wasn't going to be a journalist. I would absolutely love working at the zoo with the animals. You know that show, and I know that North Carolina Zoo was on it too, the Secrets of the Zoo or something like that.
Yep.
I love watching those kind of shows. I don't know what it is. I just really enjoy seeing the people behind the scenes interacting with the animals.
What's your favorite animal?
All of them.
All of them.
That's a good
nice
answer. Good
answer. Yes.
What about you guys? Do you have a favorite?
All. I like seeing the birds, like the different exotic birds. They're so beautiful. I like that.
See, I mean, I like the big ones that you don't like, the elephants and the rhinos, that kind of stuff that are just in the giraffe. I love that.
The giraffe's great too. You know, I got to feed a giraffe not only with my hand but with my mouth. I put a carrot in my mouth and the giraffe took it out.
So you kissed a giraffe.
You're a brave man.
It was wild. Okay, so whether it's the zoo or anywhere else, you know, employers, they are hiring everywhere. Guilford Works is hosting a major league hiring event coming up. Next Thursday, you can meet with more than 50 employers offering starting salaries of $15 an hour or more. The event is at Truist Point Stadium in High Point from 10 to 2. Employers include Amazon, FedEx, Ecolab, and Procter & Gamble. The event is free, but you will need an active NC Works registration to attend. We'll be right back.
Mic check, Jalen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Cool. 12, 15, 72. Hey, make sure my package just reloaded.
Reloaded?
Yeah, it should have just went back in.
What should it say? What should it do
Like
instead?
the time, I'm saying, like the time that it.
108?
No, it's all good.
Oh,
there
we
it
go.
is. Okay, cool. Fam, I'm gonna get you in the gym. I'm gonna have you crying.
All right, we are tracking the weather today, and it's all been about Fred. The storm isn't even close to us. It's pretty far away in Georgia, but sometimes we can get stuck with the bad impacts even several hundred miles away from the system. Here's a look in Greensboro. This is kind of changing every 30 minutes or so. We're just seeing different cloud cover moving through the area. Right now, a couple bands of showers to the north near the Virginia border for the most part, but the next couple are really setting up as you look back off to the south. Here's that local view at the time. We're not really looking at a lot here in the Triad itself or in the southern Piedmont, but you do go to the north, you see some of these heavy gusty showers. I expect there's some wind gusts in Surrey County at the moment, right near Elkin. Remember, we had that tornado earlier today right near the Rhonda community in eastern Wilkes County. These areas going to get some more rain, and those look like they're trying to rotate and spin a little bit. We're going to keep a close eye on that the next little bit this few hours. Back south we go, another line of showers and storms in Columbia, and then another one still back here closer to Greenville, South Carolina. Gonna have to keep an eye on those later on this afternoon and evening because they have a high tornado risk. This is a level 3 alert from the Storm Prediction Center. That's pretty high. Usually we're in a level 1 or maybe a level 2. Level 3 is reserved for situations that are a little bit more certain that we will have tornadoes. So here's the situation. Pretty quiet in the Triad probably through about 6, 7, even 8 o'clock tonight. But this model does ramp things up by the late evening. I want to show you this. This is around midnight. You see that line that's rolling into the foothills? That looks pretty strong and gets a little stronger as it moves into the Triad itself. That could pose an issue, and that's while you're sleeping, which is why we say make sure before you go to bed you have a way to receive those alerts on your phone. Have all the settings turned on, have that News 2 app downloaded, and just make sure it's going to buzz. It's going to wake you up. If you have a NOAA weather radio, that's the surefire way to make sure you will be awake and your family is going to be in that safe spot. Bottom line, we're going to track this through the overnight hours. We'll be here, don't worry. Going into tomorrow, things are improving. We'll have much better weather going into your Wednesday and quieter weather for the rest of the week.
Well, today we heard from North Carolina anti-Olympic medalist Trevor Stewart and Randolph Ross Jr.
Yeah, these lifelong friends brought home 3 medals from Tokyo, and today WFMY News 2's Jalen Gilkey caught up with the duo.
Well, can you guys imagine training and preparing your entire life for your shot at the gold? Well, Trevor Stewart and Randolph Ross Jr. cashed in on that opportunity because that's just what Aggies do.
The Olympics by itself is an amazing stage to be on, and I'm just thankful for having the opportunity to go there and compete.
It's definitely a confidence booster to come back with 2 Olympic medals, let alone 1 by itself. But it brings like a sense of joy in self, but I don't let it go to my head because as I got it, it can always be taken away just at a blink of an eye.
Randolph Ross Jr. and Trevor Stewart have been running track together since they were kids. These former North Carolina A&T track teammates and now national champions can now add Olympic 4x400 meter relay gold medalist to their resume as well.
I always held myself on a high regard, even though I never really showed it. So this only shows that I'm just hitting the tip of the iceberg. There's always a lot more in me, and I know that I can do a lot more from here. And it's just one big step, and I'm gonna keep going forward.
Having the opportunity to run and still represent the United States on the relay and in track and field and come home with a gold medal is a great feeling.
So I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I learned something from these two. Winning a gold medal is all fun and games. The hard part is carrying around those medals and granting everyone's photo request when you get home.
I bet.
I would wear that thing all the time. Sleeping, showering, on the way to class, of course.
You'd be hugging it while you sleep, Chad.
I know. It looks heavy. So, Jalen, how did it feel to be in the midst of all that greatness today?
You know, I just was super, super honored. Once they pulled out the medals, I was like, oh, this is like a real thing. Like, these guys are not only dedicated to their craft, but they're the best at what they do.
Jalen, did you get a close look at the medal? Because I've never actually gotten to hold a...
Oh yeah, it has some weight to it. So I did learn that it's not 100% gold medal. It is gold plated, but it definitely feels like it's solid gold for sure.
I bet that was extra special for you, Jalen, since you're an alum.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I just was so happy for our community and just all the Aggies out there because I know we all were rallying behind them. And those guys, they made us so proud.
And I love seeing that video when he first got back and landed at PTI, and all the media was there, and his friends and family were there, and they were hugging him as he was getting out of the secured area, and a hero's welcome, if you will.
Absolutely.
I'm excited to see what they do next, because they still have some more years at the school, right?
Absolutely. Trevor's 22, I do believe, and he's the eldest out of the two. So Paris is definitely in these guys' sights, and I would believe they'll be there.
And we can send you there to report on it.
Absolutely. I'm with that. Did you hear that, boss? Did you hear that?
Bosses, are y'all listening?
I'm on the way.
We'll be right back.
Got to practice my French.
And never passes. 1, 2, 3. Remember, be patient and never pass a stopped school bus.
Hello, 1, 2, 3. Please be alert for possible tornadoes.
Hey there, Oklahoma, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, South Carolina, South Dakota.
Hi, Callie. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Mic check 1, 2, 3. Mic check 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Block 43 apartments.
So it's time for my 2 cents, and today I'm talking about retirement jobs. All right, so I still have a ways to go, but I'm in my 50s, and you start thinking about that. I said, what would I do? What would be a fun part-time retirement job? And I thought about everything in the world, but recently my family, last week, I was gone all week in case you didn't notice, and we went to Holden Beach, and I found it. I introduce you to the Cruising Tiki Bar. I have never in my life seen anything like this. I saw it at the end of the dock, right? And I said, what is that? And I got a little bit closer. And then upon arrival, as I walked down, I realized that it is a floating bar, basically, that cruises up and down the intercoastal waterway with as many as 6 people around there. It even had a little captain's wheel in the middle. So everybody sits on their little stools up to the tiki bar where the captain is sitting and a first mate. And you literally, it is a floating bar that goes up and down the intercoastal waterway. He told me it's about an hour and a half tour, and you pay to have either your whole family or just a group of friends on there. How much fun would that be? And for those of you that know me well, you know I can't stop talking. So it would be great to be in the middle, driving that little octagonal boat, I guess you'd call it, with a little outboard motor and talking to people all day long. So now you'll know where to find me if in 10 years or so you're down at the coast. Look for me floating up and down the coastal waterway. Oh, don't tell my wife, because she will not like this idea. And that's just my 2 cents. And that's your 4 to 5. WFNY News 2 at 5 starts now.
It kind of was in slow motion, honestly.